Shocking. Ford's Trump meltdown exposes Canada to nationwide embarrassment. In a politically charged environment, Canadian Premier Doug Ford has recently come under fire due to his controversial interactions with U.S. President Donald Trump. The Canada-U.S. relationship is one of the closest globally, founded on shared geography and economic ties, with approximately $2.7 billion in goods crossing the border daily. This partnership is critical for trade agreements, immigration policies, and national security cooperation. However, Ford's exchanges with Trump have ignited debates in Canada and raised concerns about the nation's standing internationally, highlighting the potential for embarrassment and the need for effective leadership. Ford's meltdown stems from a series of erratic public statements during a joint press conference with Trump, where he struggled to articulate clear positions on important issues. His comments were often contradictory, prompting questions about his grasp on crucial matters. This display of confusion has sparked backlash from both political opponents and supporters, leading many Canadians to question Ford's ability to represent their interests effectively. Expectations for composure and clarity in leadership are high, especially concerning national security and economic matters, and Ford has not met these standards, causing unease among citizens. The fallout is particularly damaging for Canada's international reputation. A leader who appears unprepared can send troubling signals both domestically and abroad. Critics argue that Ford's performance reflects a lack of coherent policy direction that could undermine Canada's credibility in negotiations with the U.S. The close economic ties necessitate stable leadership to navigate complex issues like trade agreements and environmental regulations. Ford's inability to provide that stability raises concerns about Canada's capability to manage these relationships effectively. The nationwide embarrassment is compounded by Ford's unfiltered remarks and the disarray within his administration. His comments have drawn ridicule on social media, trending hashtags that reflect public dissatisfaction. Younger Canadians, in particular, have expressed disbelief at the lack of professionalism, highlighting a disconnect between Ford's actions and the strong, unified approach needed for managing Canada-U.S. relations. This disconnect has only exacerbated public embarrassment, as many citizens feel their leader is not adequately representing their interests on the global stage. The political consequences for Ford are significant. Opposition leaders have seized this moment to question his competence, suggesting that his failures reflect broader issues within the Progressive Conservative Party. Analysts believe this incident could impact Ford's political capital and influence the upcoming federal election in April 2025. The controversy highlights existing divides in Canadian politics and differing views on engagement with the U.S., making Ford's perceived inadequacies a focal point of debate. Economically, Ford's meltdown has serious implications. Canada and the U.S. are economically intertwined, and any diplomatic misstep can have ripple effects. Investors value stability, and Ford's chaotic performance raises concerns about Canada's economic foresight. The potential for decreased investment and uncertainty for businesses operating in both countries looms large as companies reassess their strategies in light of perceived leadership failures. The risk of economic downturns tied to political instability cannot be underestimated, given that investor confidence is often fragile. Socially, reactions to Ford's meltdown have been mixed. While some supporters continue to back him, others express disappointment and concern about the quality of leadership in Canada. The incident has sparked conversations about the expectations Canadians have for their leaders, with calls for greater transparency, accountability, and effective communication. This event has underscored a generational divide, as younger Canadians increasingly demand leadership that aligns with their values. Media coverage of Ford's meltdown has been extensive, with critiques from various outlets highlighting the implications for both him and the broader political landscape. International media attention has further amplified perceptions of Canadian ineptitude, and the media's role in shaping public perception has been significant. This scrutiny can affect Ford's legacy and the future direction of his administration. Leadership during crises is crucial, and Ford's recent performance raises serious questions about the qualities needed for effective representation. Leaders must engage in constructive dialogue and articulate clear positions. Ford's meltdown serves as a reminder of the importance of strong leadership and the consequences of failing to meet public expectations. Effective leadership requires a balance of assertiveness and diplomacy, both of which were notably absent in Ford's interactions with Trump. Looking forward, Ford must reassess his approach to regain public trust. Engaging openly with critics and supporters alike will be essential for restoring confidence in his leadership. Proactive measures to clarify Canada's position on key issues with the U.S. will help mitigate further embarrassment. Ford's ability to learn from this experience and adapt will be critical for navigating the political landscape ahead. In conclusion, Ford's Trump meltdown has spotlighted Canada's need for coherent leadership and raised critical questions about policy clarity and international standing. As the country approaches a pivotal federal election, the implications of Ford's leadership decisions will resonate for years, impacting not only his political future but also Canada's relationship with the United States and the world. The stakes are high, and the path forward requires a commitment to restoring Canada's reputation on the global stage, ensuring that such incidents do not define the nation's political narrative.